And that ain't all. I want out. Out the game and out of New York.
Ma, I left something in the house. Let's go back inside.
It was Tariq.
Tariq?
Tell Tommy this is a gift from Monet to Hot.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang. In this video, we're gonna be talking about Diana Tejada, her role in season 4, her first kill. We're gonna talk about everything she does to try to hide what she did from Monet, from Kane, her whole family, how she maneuvers her way out the situation. But first, we're gonna make a comparison between Diana and Rock from Raising Kanan by a viewer's request, because there's a lot of similarities. And I will even admit that I predicted that by the end of the series, Diana would be out of the game. But now I think going into season 4 into season 5, Diana might become the new Queenpin in the Power Book 2 Ghost universe. So how I want to do this is I'm going to split this video into 2 or 3 parts. First, I want to talk about the path she's on now, the events that took place at the end of season 3, and how they should and could play out into season 4, how I think this preps her for the next step of becoming the new Queenpin. She's been fighting to get out the game for so long, it just isn't happening. Then in the second half, I'll talk about how this path leads to the comparison of her being just like Rock with her 2 brothers, Kane, Drew, just like Rock got Lou and Marvin. But I have to talk about her path and the events that will take place before that comparison, because right now, obviously, Diana doesn't have the mindset or the goals or ambition in the game as far as Rock does. So we're going to talk about the path that she gets there first. As usual, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we're about to dive into Diana, her first kills, all her plans and events that's going to take place into season 4 going on to season 5. Let's get into it. So we're going to try to run through this. First, her path to getting out of the situation that she's currently in. Because where we left off, of course, Drew and Diana have their plan to frame Monet for sending Tommy after Tasha, get Tariq to kill Monet, and then get Kane to kill Tariq. And that plan ultimately failed. Tasha pulled up, sprayed Monet, Monet survived, and then they tried to kill Tariq at the end, but Braden saved him. So she's kind of in a fucked situation. How does she get out of this? Honestly, and this is the first step to her taking that path, she's gonna let Drew take the fall. She might get him X'd out by the end of the season, and I believe this for multiple reasons. One, first things first, when they was in the car doing the plan originally, Diana was about to cancel it when Monet told her she loves her. She didn't want to go through with it anymore. She was about to bring Monet back inside, but of course, Tasha pulled up spraying. It was by far too late. And on the Drew side of things, when they were in the hospital and she told Kane that it was Tariq who shot up the car that shot Monet and everything, and then she was talking to Drew and saying that she don't believe it was Tariq, it could have been someone else, whatever. He told her stick to the fucking plan, and you could see in her face she didn't really want to do that anymore. But the thing about Drew is he has way more reasons to be mad at Monet, because she not only killed Lorenzo, but then convinced him to kill Gordo as well. So I think Drew is completely fine with going through with the plan, or still trying to kill Monet, still trying to kill Tariq, and everything still happening as it should. She already started to regret it once it was happening, and now she is way too far in. I think the best case scenario for her to do is pin the whole thing on Drew. Now, this creates one big problem, though, that she can't really pin on him. That brings me into my next point, and that's Diana's first kill. Now, we all know Diana got caught on the Ring camera outside of Kate's house when she delivered the letter to Tommy. So, a lot of people think that's going to play a big part into season 4, and I think Diana is going to have to make a move of her own, because she's battling the clock. Once Monet wakes up, once Tariq puts 2 and 2 together, once him and Monet has a conversation, they're going to be able to find out and understand everything that happens. But of course, they're going to need some type of proof. That Ring camera is proof. Diana has to go back to the scene of the crime. She has to fix this, and I think this might take place after she blames it all on Drew, so she could keep her hands clean. But this might lead to what I think will be Diana's first hands-on kill. She had other kills that she kind of set up women, or was by way of her her, things like that. But now I believe she would have to do it herself. I think a big step on the path to becoming a Queenpin, a boss, or anyone inside the game, your first kill is very important. And we just seen that with Brayden killing his uncle. Now he's more comfortable doing these type of things. She just saved Tariq. Their backs is against the wall in season 4. He knows this is something he just has to do. And I think Diana is in that exact same situation that Brayden was in. She's in a spot where this is something she has to do. We don't know if Monet will take her life when she finds this out, what Tariq would do. We don't know anything that could happen. So she has to take matters into her own hand. And now the problem with this is, if you kill Kate, do you really want problems with Tommy? Like, do you really want problems with Tommy? If you kill Tommy's mom, no, that's just a bad idea. Like, you shouldn't do that at all. But I do think this is a crazy idea and a crazy spot Diana is in to get her first kill. If she was to do this, maybe they don't even have her kill her. She breaks in, gets the footage or whatever, or she just knocks her out, takes it, whatever. But I think this is a good spot for Diana to get her first kill. And I actually take back what I said. She might not set up Drew yet. She might let him take the fall for killing Kate as well, because a lot of people believe Drew is gonna die in season 4. She might let him take the fall for killing Kate and have Tommy take him out and eliminate all her problems. Now, Diana doesn't seem like this type of person on the surface. Like, she was just mad at Monet for killing Lorenzo. Now she's gonna get her own brother killed. But she's about self-preservation and getting out the game. That's been her goal the entire time. And when it starts looking bleak, like there's no way out, like your back is against the wall, you're gonna start fighting and looking for a way out. And unfortunately, in these circumstances, Drew is that way out. Next thing. Now we know it's everyone against Tariq and Brayden, and Diana is on, of course, the side with her, the Tejadas, Noma, Effie, and so on and so forth. So she's in a perfect position to learn and get like mentorship from Noma, find information out how she got so far in life, how she could get to that position. I think Noma will mentor her, or at least teach her valuable lessons and steps to get where she wants to be in life. We seen in Noma's and Monet's conversation when they talked about Mecca, about Monet's children being in her life, and how Noma said if she had a kid, she would keep her as far away from any of this as possible. And we know Anya is probably coming in season 4, but I think I wouldn't say a strain, but there's like a separation or a divide between Noma and Anya, because she has to hide this whole world, whole side of her life from her daughter. And I think that's where Diana comes in. She could fit into that role, learn, adjust, and grow, and get a lot of information for Noma. We've seen for the past few years, power, the whole universe really has been growing and pushing these women into power, showing they could take control, they could run shit better than a lot of these dudes. Mecca, Milan, I'm looking at y'all. We see it with Rock, who we're gonna talk about later. We saw it with Monet, and now Noma, and now Diana is kind of like the next one up to be put in this position. I think the first thing Noma is gonna teach her that Diana is gonna have to realize and come to terms with is there's no way out this life, out this game once you enter it. We saw the same thing with Ghost. Why should it be any different for Diana? Noma will get there through her head first, and once she does, I think Diana will want to jump into the role of knowing how Noma got this far, and maybe she could take the same route to be safe. I think this creates a crazy but fun and interesting dynamic of having Diana in the background controlling everything for once. Not everyone using her or maneuvering around her, not alerting her, not giving her any information. Let her maneuver some pieces for once and see how it affects Monet, Kang, Drew, Tariq, and everything like that. Because at the end, their plan was pretty good, and although it failed, it wasn't really her fault why it failed. Other things just came into place. So give her a chance to do that for an entire season. And I think being underneath Noma is a perfect opportunity for them to do that and make her grow as a character. And another thing is, plugs and connects don't last long in the Power universe. Like I said, Lobos, Milan, Tommy, Dre. Well, Tommy's still gone, but you can see he's somewhere else. Dre, Mecca, all these people, like I said, plugs don't last long. So at least if they're gonna kill Noma by the end of season 4, probably, most likely I would say, then at least she could leave off like a successor or have impact on what's to follow after all this took place. Because after they killed Mecca, nothing really came from it, I would say. I guess the Zeke dying part, but that happened while they were killing Mecca. That would have happened regardless if Mecca survived that night or not, because Lorenzo went and shot him. But either way, I hope they give Noma something after that, kind of like they did with Sax, where he still had a major impact even after he died. Now on to comparing Diana to Rock. And listen, yes, I know there's obviously some fucking differences. You don't have to tell me down below in the comments. I'm gonna point out the main difference that's separating Diana from getting to that level later. But first, let's talk about the comparisons. So first off, they both obviously have two brothers with next to kind of the same personalities. Of course, Kane and Marvin kind of being like comedic and the Stone Cold Killers. They're in the game. They just know what they have to do. They play their role basically. And then we have the Lou and True, who are 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They do what they have to when it's forced upon them, or they're put into a situation where that's just what it comes to, but they don't necessarily want to be in the game anymore. One difference, of course, being it's Rock running shit all over here. Like, she could fully controlling both of them. She making all the plans. I believe actually Marvin was running shit at first before he went to jail. I don't know. I have to rewatch Raising Kanan. By the way, of course, on Book Ghost, Diana is far from running shit. There's Noma, there's Monet, there's Tariq, there's Drew, there's so many people, levels and steps above her. But that's why I laid out the path that Diana has to use to get here. And I think the one thing, or the biggest thing that's separating Diana from reaching the level that Rock is at, or having the ambition and mindset she has, is that Rock has Kanan. Diana doesn't necessarily have anyone she's looking out for, protecting, or that she has to rise above to get there. And I made a prediction video probably a while back at this point about Tariq and the possibility of him getting Diana pregnant in the episode she slept with both him and Salim. I thought that would have came to fruition before the end of the season. I don't know if they're gonna do that now. I know a lot of people don't like pregnancy storylines, but I think this would impact her and put her in a position where she needs to make moves now to make herself comfortable, to protect her kid if this was to come to be, and it will put her more in the role of a Rock. Now, we seen Rock from the very first moment cold and heartless, and just kind of ultimately does what she thinks needs to be done. She's gonna make the decision that better helps her and Kanan. And Diana hasn't got to that position yet. We just seen her do it with her playing with Drew, and I'm looking forward to seeing how she takes it further in season 4. Also, another thing about the brothers situation, if my predictions and what I said earlier comes to be the truth, and Diana blames the whole thing on Drew, by the time she becomes the Queenpin and actually is in Rock's shoes, where she's in control, she's running everything, she's the head of the family, by the time that happens, Drew probably be long gone. So of course the situation and circumstances would change, which is fine because we don't want it to be exactly the same, but it is cool to see how these two characters parallel to one another. And also, I just think that the writers are gonna do what's kind of least expected, because we've been kind of seeing for the past 3 seasons Diana won out the game. It's time for her to give that shit up. Like, you're not getting out at this point. Who knows? They might still do it, but where things have been heading, I don't think so. So to take her on this route, this path to the dark side, where she's at the top now, where we've never seen her before, she's kind of always been in a mix, but there was people levels and steps just ahead of her. And it will overall just give us a side of Diana we have yet to see, and that we're hoping to see going into season 4 or 5, however long this show continues. And once again, the main distinctive difference that are separating their two mindsets is Rock having Kane and someone else to look out for, be mindful of. But overall, that's it for this video. At the time of recording, I don't even know how long this is. I hope I ain't make the video too long. I want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. This is my video on Diana. I made one on Monet. I made one on Braden about the dark path he's gonna take. I made one about Kane and how to fix his character going into season 4, because I believe they've messed up his storyline and whatever he got going on. And I also made one about Tariq and how he could win the war, how he could use Noma's daughter, that whole situation. Kanan comes into play. So you could check out any of those videos, and also once again leave down below in the comments any other videos you want to see me make for specific characters, plot points, or whatever. As usual, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.